I obviously want to disclaimer this. I am not a financial advisor by any means. Please take my money advice as just inspiration and entertainment. At the end of the day, my handsome and pretty little cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. So today's minimalism video is going to be 10 ways to stop trading time for money. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Whew. A little preface before we get started. I'm a minimalist, and I've been a minimalist for 6 years. And if you've been following my channel for some time, you know that the reason that I became a minimalist was out of financial need. I'm kind of more of a frugal minimalist. So I got a lot of money tips that I wanted to share with you guys. I just never really got around to it, but now I finally got time. So we're going to be talking about 10 ways to stop trading your time for money. So let's get into the first tip. Number 1. Pick up a side hustle. I know that we all got bills to pay. I got bills to pay. So obviously I'm not advocating for you to drop your day job and start, hustling with some business, because I think there's a large percentage of businesses that fail. So I'm not saying for you to go out and get a business. I truly respect the 9-to-5 grind, but I think that it's always good to consider having a side hustle. A side hustle can be anything, and it's different for everybody because we all have different talents. For myself, my side hustle ended up becoming my YouTube channel, my social media. I make a little coin off of that. So figure out what works for you. Maybe your side hustle is, I'm not sure, taking care of people's aquariums, selling your skills on Fiverr or Kijiji. Figure out what that is. It doesn't have to take a lot of time, and it can be in a little extra $100, $200 a month. Okay, number 2, outsourcing your services. So if you've become a bit more established in your field, or you've been doing something for a long period of time and it's no longer time efficient for you to do it yourself, you could actually outsource your skill. I know there's plenty of ways to do this. There's like the sky's the limit as to what is outsourced and to whom and for what. It's totally up to you, but you could consider doing that. If your time is worth, say, I don't know, $70 an hour, but you're mowing the lawn, you could outsource mowing the lawn to, say, a kid for $15. The lawn gets mowed regardless, but you're better off doing something else with your time as opposed to mowing the lawn. I know that Mr. Money Stash might disagree. He thinks that people who have high income should still do their own chores, but I'm just giving this as an example to illustrate just something simple and easy. You can apply it to outsourcing your YouTube videos, outsourcing your teaching to other teachers, outsourcing your baking to other bakers. The list goes on. Number 3, consider making a digital product or selling a physical product on Amazon. So the thing about trading your time for money, there's only so many hours in a day you could do. So a good example of this is a physiotherapist. They do earn a lot, but there's only so many hours in a day that they can do to attend to patients, versus a business owner who sells pens, for example. They in an hour could sell over 100 pens, but a physiotherapist cannot serve 100 patients in 1 hour. So who's making more? Obviously the pen seller, because their money is not limited by time, it's limited by quantity and other factors, but just to illustrate my point. So you can consider selling a product. It could be digital. You could sell a Skillshare service, a digital product that you just make once, invest the time, and then continue to resell over and over again, or a physical product, whether that be selling your cookies, selling jewelry on Etsy, selling something, a physical product that you have. The thing about this, of course, is the overhead. You have low overhead and high overhead. This just means like how much money you have to initially put in. Digital things usually take up less space physically, so there's less overhead, there's less material involved, less time involved, and storage, versus a physical product has a higher overhead. You do have to store the product, you have to do the initial investment in buying the product, or investment of the time to make the product, pay somebody to make it, things like that. So that is something to keep in mind. Number 4, you can run your own business. I know I disclaimed this in the beginning. I think it's really important for us to not, discredit the 9-to-5 grind. Dave Ramsey has stated that your largest income source in the beginning is your active income, like when you do trade your time for money. So I really don't want to glorify this idea that you need to go out there and run a business to get ahead financially. You really don't. There are other means. Lots of people have, fired with just their regular job. You don't need to run a business. But if you have considered it, or you're in a situation where it seems lucrative, yeah, I think running your own business is a good use of stopping trading your time for money and now trading merit. So how good is the product in exchange, or the service? How good is the service in exchange for monetary compensation? Okay, number 6, starting a YouTube channel. I think that this one warrants its own category just because of my own personal biases. I'm a YouTuber, and the reason that I put this is because maybe some of the other things, especially if you're younger, maybe, or you have limited access to certain resources, or even just your funds just not being a lot, I think that some of these things might be a bit daunting and you don't want to do it. But I feel like with YouTube, with everybody having a camera on their smartphone, I feel like there's less gatekeeping. Anyone technically could start a YouTube channel and get monetized and start making money through this venture. That's why I felt like it deserved its own thing. And I really do think that YouTube is very rewarding, very fun. You build a community, you interact with people, you have a lot of freedom, you're your own boss. So So if none of these other ideas suit you, you could use your YouTube channel as a side hustle. Okay, number 7, you could write a book, write a program, a template, or create intellectual property. So this is a fun one and a good one because like I love to read. I have Kindle on my phone, and when I was younger, I would write novels and I would post it on fanfics.net, and in university, I would use Wattpad. I love to write and I love to read. I'm a big nerd. I don't know if you could tell from my appearance, but I used to wear glasses. I read so much. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to say is that it's a big market. Books are pretty lucrative, you know, as Rich Dad Poor Dad said. You don't need to be a good writer. You just need to be a bestseller. So selling your book, promoting your book is where the money is to be made. So if you're like not bad at writing, you could make money off of a book. It doesn't have to be like exclusively reserved for the J.K. Rowlings. It can be for anybody who enjoys reading and writing. There's so many categories out there, so many genres, so many different things that people want to read. There is a niche for you. So I think selling intellectual property or program or a template is a pretty lucrative way to make money. You don't even have to make physical copies anymore. You don't even have to go through editors anymore. I know that Amazon sells these services or provides these services that you can take advantage of. They just take a cut at the end when books are sold. So like really the startup is very low. If you have a computer, you have some sort of word processor, you can write a book. Number 8, hosting classes to many students. So this is still a little bit in the realm of active income. It's not quite as passive because you still do need to trade your time for money. But when you get to a point where you're trading, say like you're teaching instead of just like one-on-one with like online coaching, you're teaching it to many people at the same time, similar to the idea of YouTubing, where it's like many people, especially now with virtual learning being such a big thing, you're teaching this one skill to many people. So if everybody pays say like $10, $5, but there's 50 of them, you know, so 5 times 10, right? That's more money than if you only charge $25 for one person. So the volume starts to grow and you're not capped. I mean, we have systems in place where you can teach to large audiences. Like I remember when I was in university, my lecture hall at U of T, we were at a class of 1,000 students to one teacher. So yeah, you can see why the prof gets paid so much. There's so much money coming in from the students. So you can consider teaching to more students per class if that's something that was of interest to you. Number 9, selling online classes. So while one is kind of active in the sense that you are actually physically teaching the class to students, you can actually package and sell your programs online. People unlock it and just watch it on their own time. You are no longer part of it. Like you have filmed and made it and uploaded it and packaged it, but you're no longer present. Similar to kind of YouTubing where I've already uploaded the video and it's done. I'm not live streaming to my audience. The same thing with these online classes. Skillshare offers things like that. There's other programs too, other websites. Just look around where you already sell like a pre-made package and people just pay and buy it. So the initial investment is, yes, you made it once, but after that, people can keep reusing it over and over again. Okay, number 10, in my opinion, the only truly passive income, and that is stocks and dividend. I obviously want to disclaimer this. I am not a financial advisor by any means. Please take my money advice as just inspiration and entertainment. At the end of the day, you should be responsible for your own finances and do your own research. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the stocks. I love stocks. Stocks for me was kind of like the gateway drug into money and financial literacy. I never imagined that stocks could be something that was open to the ordinary individual. Turns out there's a whole world of ordinary next door millionaires buying stocks. And I was like, wow, there's plenty of ways to do stocks. There's not just one size fit all. There's diversified portfolios, dividend stocks, day trading, long-term holding, short-term holding. There's many ways to do it. I will make a separate video on that, but let's just talk about stocks as a whole. So I'm very passionate about stocks because that is actually one of the first passive, I guess, assets that I acquired when I started looking into all of this. Even before I started my YouTube channel, I had already purchased stocks. I purchased stocks when I was still in teachers college. I think I was about 20, 21 when I first started buying them. And I started really small. I think I started with like $25, $50 like a year. And I was just like, I had 3 stocks and I was like, yes, I'm a boss bitch now. But what I mean to say is like, that was so long ago, and where I am now, I don't know if I should disclose or not, but maybe I will in the future. I definitely got the hang of it, and I don't know what the future holds, but so far in like, I guess these, I don't even know, 7 years of buying stocks, I have not lost a penny. I've only made, and that's because I follow systems of people who are successful. So if you're gonna look into stocks, you could lose a lot of money if you're not careful with what you're doing. So please follow the advice of people who've been doing this for years, are successful, have models in place that will help you grow. And I will make a video on that separately. But anyway, that's another way to stop trading your time for money. You bought the stock, you're asleep, it's still running, you're making money, and all you did was buy in once. Leave down in the comments down below another way that you guys or can give advice for stop trading your time for money that could help somebody else watching this video. Oh, one thing that I wanted to add, if you wish to help out my channel, you can consider checking out my Patreon in the link down below. This helps support my channel, and I do monthly vlogs and milestone updates for people who are subscribed to my Patreon. And if you're not interested in that, then you can just help me out with the algorithm by giving this video a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe. And comment down below, hiss, so I know that you're a long-time subscriber. This video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!